What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today we have a lot of awesome, exciting things to talk about. We have a little bit of information about Loki Season 2, which is about to start filming, and this information is coming from Michael Waldron, the writer of Season 1 and the writer of Multiverse of Madness. Looks like we have some pretty good news for those Defender fans out there, as it looks like we could be seeing them appear in the MCU at different points in time. We have some Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special news to go over. And to top it all off, it looks like Hawkeye could be getting a Season 2, and some changes that Moon Knight made before have seemingly been undone. So a lot of really exciting news to talk about today. And by the way, if you missed my video yesterday, Disney Plus Day has been announced for September 8th, and that is also when Disney's D23 begins. It is from September 8th to September 10th. So expect a lot of big news about the MCU, about Star Wars, and just Disney in general those few days. And of course, I'll be covering that and everything until then and after then, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. So let's start with Loki Season 2, because a lot of fans are really looking forward to Loki Season 2, including myself. They left us on a pretty massive cliffhanger at the end of Loki Season 1, and they left us asking what the heck is going on. Loki, after forming a very deep and a very real relationship with Mobius and Sylvie, was kind of abandoned by Sylvie and went back to a TVA that was completely different and to a Mobius who did not know who he was. Now, something that is very, very important that you have to know about Loki Season 1, Multiverse of Madness, and Loki 2 is that Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said that everything that happened in Spider-Man No Way Home and in Multiverse of Madness was only possible because of what happened at the end of Loki. Loki and Sylvie took down the TVA and they took out He Who Remains, and the only reason any of this could have happened in the MCU is because of those events. Otherwise, He Who Remains and the TVA would have stepped in and prevented Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. They would have stopped Doctor Strange from doing all these things. So essentially, you can blame Spider-Man No Way Home and the events of Multiverse of Madness on Loki and Sylvie, or you can thank them because those movies were awesome. But it looks like Loki Season 2 is actually going to be somewhat of a continuation of these events. So in somewhat, it's kind of going to be the follow-up of Multiverse of Madness. Basically, a lot is going to happen between the events of Loki Season 1 and the events of Loki Season 2, but the TVA kind of exists outside of space and time, so we'll have to see how that actually affects it. But Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, where the true King the Conqueror will be revealed, would have all come out before Loki Season 2. Season 2 for Loki is about to start filming, and we have a ton of Disney Plus projects coming out this year, so we know it's not coming out this year. It's probably going to be coming out mid-2023, and February of 2023 is when Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania come out. So expect a lot to be going on in Loki Season 2, and it's going to be really, really important. But according to the writer of Season 1 and Multiverse of Madness, Michael Waldron, has kind of teased us that we might see how the TVA approaches these events that have taken place in the MCU after the previous TVA that we knew in Season 1 has fallen, and now Kang's new TVA is in charge. In a recent interview, he was asked about the events of Season 2 of Loki, and he said, "It remains to be seen how did the events of this movie play out through the lens of the TVA." And he was speaking of Multiverse of Madness. He says, "What would they look like on a chrono monitor? I don't know. We'll have to find out." So it looks like Loki Season 2 is going to be tackling a lot of different things. Of course, we'll have to explore Sylvie again, Mobius, the TVA, Kang will be officially in the MCU at this point in time, and the multiverse is kind of a mess. Incursions are happening, so this is going to be really important and really exciting. And speaking of second seasons, it looks like Hawkeye might be getting a Season 2. I know there's a lot of Hawkeye fans out there, a lot of Kate Bishop fans out there, so this is good news. Now, the reason we think this is because on the Emmys For Your Consideration page for Disney, Hawkeye used to say limited series, but now it has been changed to outstanding comedy series. So that could be because it has been greenlit for a Season 2. And hopefully if this does happen, this will be the start of the new Avengers team and hopefully the young Avengers team as well. It's about time we get some Avengers back in the MCU. Now, at the same time, right now, a season 2 for Moon Knight is kind of up in the air. Originally on their Twitter page, it said Marvel Studios' Moon Knight, a limited series now streaming only on Disney+. Now, however, it says an original series now streaming only on Disney+, not limited. However, on the For Your Consideration Emmy page, it still does say limited series. It actually says limited or anthology series. Now, I personally would love a Moon Knight series over a Hawkeye series. Nothing against Hawkeye, and I do love Kate Bishop, but I would like more new things to come into the MCU rather than doing some sequels that might not have such a huge impact on the MCU. Hawkeye was great, but I really welcome new characters. Now, speaking of new characters, but also kind of old characters, it looks like the Defenders might actually be making MCU appearances. After all, we've already seen Daredevil. Well, we've seen Charlie Cox, but we did see Kingpin, and now a Daredevil series is coming to Disney Plus in the future, and not to mention Daredevil will be in the Echo series as well. But according to a new report from Screen Geek, they have been told by a source that Kristen Ritter, aka Jessica Jones, is going to be appearing in an MCU project soon. Now, after seeing Matt Murdock show up in Spider-Man No Way Home, after seeing Kingpin show up in the Hawkeye series, and then Black Bolt showing up in Multiverse of Madness, although he's an Inhuman, of course, not a Defender, but the main point is that Marvel Studios seems to be taking these characters that used to be on the Netflix series and has zero problem with weaving them into the MCU. So right now, it is literally possible that any of the Defenders, any of the old Inhumans, any people from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's entirely possible that they could appear in the MCU. The multiverse has shown us that anything is now possible in the grand scale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if this report is accurate, it looks like we will be seeing Jessica Jones soon. Now, to top it all off, we have some Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special news. It has been confirmed that Daniela Melchior has joined the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was reported by Deadline, but confirmed by James Gunn. You gotta love that about James Gunn. When reports happen and break on the internet, he's always there to either debunk them or confirm if they're true. So, James Gunn said on Twitter, "I can confirm she's wonderful in the role. Daniela Melchior is one of my favorite people and actors around, and I hope this is just the second of many projects we'll work on together." Now, the Deadline report did not mention what role she was playing, and James Gunn did not confirm that role either, but it is said to be a small role and not a massive role. Now, if you watched The Suicide Squad from James Gunn, you know that she was in this movie as Ratcatcher, and she did an amazing job, so I'm excited to see her in Guardians 3. Now, Guardians 3 and the holiday special have finished filming. They've wrapped, and they sent out wrap gifts, the gifts that they give to the cast and crew once something is done filming. This was shared by Mark Mantastic on TikTok. We have a couple of hats. One is of Rocket Raccoon, and the other one seems to be of Groot, but this could be a different character. This is from the holiday special, and it looks like it's some type of a Christmas tree with the character in front of it, but the last time that we saw Groot, he was a teenager, and in the Thor Love and Thunder trailer, he is still a teenager. And this looks like a full adult Groot, the Groot that we saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film. So this could be Groot, or this could be the High Evolutionary, or a character that the High Evolutionary could have created with his experiments. But then we take a look at the top right, we have a new logo for the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can see the old logo is on the bottom for comparison, and it looks like the logo is simply stepping away from the Guardians name on it. Now, it's speculated that this could mean that the Guardians are becoming more of an official team. We do know that this is pretty much the last film of this Guardians team. We're expecting a few deaths to happen in Guardians 3. James Gunn and a few members of the cast have mentioned that this is it for them. They're done after this. So perhaps the Guardians become a real Guardians of the Galaxy team where members can actually join and leave at any point in time. That way the members can leave, but the Guardians team always remains intact. They're always going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy, but characters like Nova or Adam Warlock or the Silver Surfer can always join, which is really exciting. And like I said, a lot of news that's happened over the past week. Let me know what your favorite part of all of this is in the comments down below and what you're most excited for. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.